Greetings, humans, and welcome to the Federation Conversation, episode 4. 3, rather.
did it.
It's episode 3 of the podcast. I'm David. Scotty is over there. We don't have video. We're all we're audio only at the moment, just because my internet's shit. And Scotty's off in Espanol, so...
Yeah, I'm in Barcelona, and I don't know how
Barcelona.
much it is, so it's going to be audio on the call.
Yeah, so, this is episode 3 of the podcast, not episode 4, I'm sorry. But it's episode 4 of Discovery.
Show, yeah.
Episode 4, and the title is The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cry. And, Jesus
Whoa.
Christ.
Well, that's a real original series callback there with the really long episode title.
They do enjoy doing that. I mean, we've noticed that so far. But, if they want to call back to one thing in the entire series, I guess that'll be enough. So
long titles. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have the phases from the old series. They'll have and the episode titles. So yeah.
This isn't a particularly creative observation, but I just want to say the theme is growing on me now that I'm actually hearing it as a theme that has sort of different... Because I shout on the music when it first came out. But it's kind of warming to me now that we're hearing it in sort of different uses throughout the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind,
So,
it plus the visuals, and it's like, I mean... You know, it's no faith of the heart, but you can get used to it, I guess.
The context matters, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Scotty, walking back his comments from previous episodes where he shat on the music.
Yeah, well, you know, we all grow, we all mature.
And also today we're talking about The Last Jedi, and we'll probably talk about that more than the episode of Star Trek, because the trailer just came out yesterday. So.
Yeah, I can't remember the trailer very well and I didn't take notes for it.
That's fine.
I only watched it the once.
Yeah,
I wanted to watch it again today, but I ran out of time.
It's not that amazing. I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's not that groundbreaking. So anyway,
that'll be it. Yeah.
This episode of Discovery is brought to you. No, this episode of Discovery is. A few weeks ago, I made the comment that the evil captain kind of felt like the Captain Ransom from the Equinox episode of Voyager.
Oh yeah,
right? I said that. Yeah, he's like an evil. I don't know who played him. He's not. He's not a big guy, is he? Like a big actor.
I was hoping if you named the actor, I'd actually remember who he was. Was he the guy that I thought was an Andorian but wasn't?
Yes, that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's the guy.
But anyway, his name's Captain Ransom, and if you couldn't tell, that guy's evil.
How did he ever get accepted in the Academy?
Yeah, I don't know. Old Greenwell Wormtongue over here. He's the top... God, Count Dooku! No, he's not evil. He's just a count.
We're reviewing... King Theoden's looking at resumes today. He's got a guy called Wormtongue, and he's got no eyebrows. I think I'll give him the top job.
Well, he's good at the
right
interview. You can't discriminate. There's laws against that in Gondor.
The Gondor Anti-Discrimination Act.
Exactly. So anyway, yeah. I didn't realize that they were just gonna kind of just copy the whole concept of that episode as well. Because if you don't remember,
I don't.
Well, I'll give you a little refresher because we're not going to watch it for another 4 years. The Equinox is a ship that's it's being attacked by aliens, and like half the crew's dead, and the ship's pretty beat up, and Voyager comes across it. And they were also pulled into the Delta Quadrant by the caretaker. God, all this is flooding back to me right now because I haven't actually watched Voyager in a while. They were also brought to the Delta Quadrant by the caretaker. And, Voyager has gotten by, Kess did some magic and sent them like 10,000 light years, and, they ran across some other civilizations that had technology that helped them along. But the Equinox has basically just been farming these aliens for warp drive fuel, so that they can use their fancy warp drive to get home faster, which they've been doing. And that basically, I don't know, it's not exactly the same, obviously, but like, they're using a innocent creature that our hero likes. And they thought they were evil, but instead they're actually just exploiting an innocent race of monsters. And
which is still kind of evil.
Well, it is evil. Yeah. But we're going to learn more about Captain Lorca and how evil he is.
Oh yeah, there's more than meets the eye to this guy.
I'm starting to not like the name Captain Lorca. I don't know, it just sounds stupid to say.
I really get the feeling that they wanted to give him a normal name like Walker, but then they thought,
Well, the first thing I want to mention about this episode,
yeah,
is that do you know the name of the security officer that died?
Sort of cocky,
The lady,
smug
yeah,
Indian lady.
yeah, the lady.
I don't remember her name.
Okay, her name's Laundry or Landry or something. The way she died was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like,
Some serious problems with that scene.
First
Yeah,
off, like, plot-wise, it's stupid. Just because, I don't know, she's a very, like, I get that she's a very one-dimensional character just because she was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like, because she died in 2 episodes,
she's on the clock. She's on limited time. Yeah.
Basically. But it's just so stupid. Like, she's just like, oh, I'm gonna rip the claw off that thing, and I'm gonna use this gun, which we've proved, we've already proved that the guns don't really work against it, but we're gonna do it anyway. She just walks in and just gets like thrown across the room like a fucking rag doll.
It's as dumb as the first episode with Michael Burnham thinking, oh, I'll just hijack the ship. Yeah, that'll work.
Exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I don't get the character's kind of motivations or anything. Like I get that character is just meant to die and just get out of the way for Burnham to take over, kind of. Like,
but she died like a true idiot though. Like, I mean,
she died like a true security officer. She got thrown across the room by some alien. That's a Tasha Yar reference.
In my notes, I call her a stone cold retard for opening the cave.
Exactly.
I think I'm pretty much bang on the money.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
And also,
yeah.
Just after that scene, how is the captain's reaction? How is his first thing not just arrest Bo Burnham for because I mean, this is that famous mutineer. Everybody knows she's a fucking loose cannon, and then all of a sudden your security officer winds up dead because she's locked in a room with her. I mean, how is he not like a little suspicious? Or anybody else suspicious about that?
I mean, Lorca knows the monster better than most because he's been standing around late nights looking at it. No, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of like, I'll do anything to win the war.
And I've got another problem with his collection. He's looking at all this stuff, saying these are some of the deadliest weapons in the galaxy, and in the corner is like a samurai sword.
It is one of the deadly. While you were studying Star Trek, I was studying the blade, Scotty. So watch out.
No, it reminds me of this stupid show, and it's narrated by the Full Metal Jacket guy, and he's like, "This is the European longsword versus the samurai sword," and they're playing up how lethal and deadly the samurai sword is. I think Americans have a bit of an obsession with it. They think it's some sort of super weapon. It's just a sword, guys.
Well, it's
sorry, I don't want to.
It's folded Konami steel, isn't it? It's folded like 1,000 times.
I think it's Hideo Kojima makes the swords.
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. One of their finest swordsmiths.
Yeah. Generally, I don't know. Like the plot of these episodes is not that interesting. Like the plot of the show is not that interesting to me, honestly. Like the exploiting a monster and I don't know. Like how long is that going to go on? Because that was that was a double episode, I guess, in Voyager. But like, is the whole series going to be about this?
It's kind of hit and miss for me because with this magic warp drive, it's kind of with the promise of new worlds and you can go anywhere and all that stuff. But also the concept itself is kind of weird. We're using magic glowing spores and a giant tardigrade is the guy who's going to navigate for us.
I mean, are they going to promote the tardigrade?
Near the bottom of my notes it says they should fit the tardigrade for a uniform now that he's working for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just want to say, tardigrade, I've gotten like 5 different autocorrects trying to write that down in the last day. So
yeah, well, for some reason Facebook doesn't think it's a word you'd often use. So it just
fix your shit, Apple.
Oh, it's Apple. All right. Well,
yeah,
Steve Jobs. What a bastard.
So I mean,
he's dead, right?
Yeah, Steve Jobs died years ago.
Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, sorry, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, do you have other thoughts? Because I mean, I've got notes, but I want to let you do it first because I'm far away on this crackly internet line, and
oh, sure. Well, I don't have notes.
Any thoughts then?
The Klingons. I like the main guy. You
mean
Vok?
Takuma's
Vok.
the albino?
Yeah, the albino guy.
Yeah.
He's all right.
Okay.
And the girl's all right, but every other part of the Klingon thing, like the whole story and everything, is just I just really don't give a shit. It's really hard to follow along with the subtitles, and they're like dippity doppity speech, and it's.
I mean, isn't it weird? They're under like 3 inches of rubber, and they have more chemistry. That bit where they were giving each other the eye, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I thought the actor and actress were doing a very good job in that scene. That's why I only care about those characters, because I was like, oh, they kind of they're bringing a lot of personality to the big latex faces that they have to wear.
As much as can be, I reckon. I think they got their money's worth with those two actors.
And for predictions, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with that storyline. To be honest, like some people on the internet, some people on the internet are suggesting that they're going to turn the albino, because he's going to sacrifice everything, so they're going to turn him into like a human type Klingon, like in TOS or something. Like he's going to have to sacrifice his Klingonness, but like that doesn't.
Oh,
I don't know how that fits into the story at all, but that's what people are saying, and it's like.
It's kind of an ass-backwards theory. His whole religion is remain Klingon, remain Klingon.
Exactly. And it'd be nice to see him with less makeup on, but it would also be stupid. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we want to see them pearly whites.
I kind of do you wish that after the first episode they just started speaking English?
A little bit.
Because
I could.
Because it was nice to like have the bridge of Klingons, and they're all talking about this, this very important ritualistic stuff in Klingon.
Yeah.
But now they're just getting to the point where they're talking to each other like people. I mean, they're still doing a little bit of religion thing, but it's like, can they just speak English now?
If you've got a fully realized language like Elvish or Klingon, then it's you are getting a lot of use out of it, and that's good. But yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing them in English. What I don't like is when they're in the middle. You'll have like a Klingon character giving you a big speech, blah, blah, blah. And here's my Chiralti, or blood brother in your language. I don't like it when that thing they do when they translate. Like, and they randomly
when they like deliberately say a Klingon word and then have to,
Yeah. He could have just said blood brother. He didn't have to throw in that little bit of... They do that a lot, not just in Star Trek, just everything else,
They do that.
I'm glad do they?
Well, sorry, they do that in Star Trek. In TNG and Deep Space Nine a lot as well, or mostly.
Yeah, no, that one can just smoke a
like when Worf is talking about his Parma, which is his bitch. No, that's sorry. Parma is love, and Parmakai is his bitch. Sorry, I got that one wrong.
The object of it.
I accidentally mistranslated, but don't worry.
You've got 6 years to get that one right.
Yeah.
I do have a note that I think you'll like.
Yeah, go for the notes.
Do you want to guess what my classic Trek cliche is for this episode?
I don't know, actually. Give it to me.
David, you are the only ship in the fleet that can get there.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a good reason for it at this point, except... I mean, obviously there's a good reason for it, because they've got the special warp drive. But also, I mean, there's a Federation colony out there. Why aren't there any ships around?
Starfleet.
It's definitely not as bad as the only ship in the fleet being at Earth.
That's really...
was that Generations?
At least half of the Star Trek movies... I think Star Trek 5, they had like a half-built Enterprise, and they were like, sorry, Jim, you're the only ship in range.
They also went to the middle of the galaxy in that one, so...
Well, there's a lot to cover in Star Trek 5. I can't wait for that episode in the next 7 years.
Yeah, I think that's just before TNG. So we'll do Star Trek 5, and then the next episode is Encounter at Farpoint.
I did actually look this up. You can buy tardigrade plushies.
That's nice.
I'm thinking after...
It's nice they're...
Yeah. I'm just not buying one of my notes is, you are never going to convince me that a tardigrade would ever hurt anyone. And that's really how I feel. You look at him. Big six-legged bear with a funny face. I mean,
well, he does have big claws that can rip through ship hulls.
Yeah, he's ripping through the hull to rescue the crew that he loves because they're his friends. And it's like, how did they land on tardigrade? I'm still. It's a bit whack. It's almost Hitchhiker's Guide. It's
Why
like,
did they pick that?
Yeah, a giant tardigrade sits in your warp drive and pedals for you. It's almost Hitchhiker's Guide sort of science fiction.
Well, I'm guessing it's something. I don't know why it's a giant tardigrade. That's the thing. Like, I'm guessing at some point they're going to reveal that it was a tiny, little, microscopic one, and for some reason, through the use of the warp drive, it got big. Like, and also the whole thing with just plugging it into the computer and a map coming up. I don't know. Like, it all feels really stupid.
Yeah, the spore drive in general is a source of amusement for me. It was like in the last episode where Captain Lorca was like, "You can go to Andoria." Back home again.
The moons of Vulcan. Yeah. Wait, does Vulcan? I don't think Vulcan has any moons.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. If you really want to get technical.
Yeah, who really cares? Yeah. Sorry, I'm patting my dog at the moment because he's hungry. I have to go get dog food.
Good on you.
So, yeah, well,
nice.
it won't satiate his hunger, but might make him leave me alone for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, I'm warming up to the characters. Like, I wish that Saru had more to do. He just kind of walks around and looks disapprovingly at Michael Burnham.
Well, I think he's a good actor, and they're obviously going to lean on him a lot. So we will see more. I have faith that we'll see more of him.
The thing I worry about in this show. The thing I worry about in this show is that, like, they're not going to have episodes that kind of focus on individual characters like that. Like, you know, you have a random episode of Star Trek, and this one's about Chakotay, and he's boxing in his mind. Whatever.
Yeah,
that's a terrible example to bring up, but that's the only one I can think of at the moment. You have episodes about specific characters, and you get to learn more about the. Okay, it's more like Tom Paris expressing his love of sailing for the first time.
Building a car, and Tom Paris is my summer car.
Tom Paris did a lot of. They couldn't land on like a single kind of hobby or time period or anything that he liked.
Yeah, he just liked ancient Earth transportation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good way to sum it up. But
I mean, I think they could do both, but they would need longer seasons. I think if they wanted to do an arc and have time for character-based episodes, then they'd probably need to like.
I assume they're going to focus on them a little bit more, a little bit less in some episodes, but it just kind of feels like the Michael Burnham show at the moment, and
just a bit, yeah.
Not many other people are going to get much character development except for the opening spiel where they say, "I'm nervous and I'm going to be a captain one day."
I feel sorry for her. They seem to be giving her a lot of. I don't know, not exposition, but what else would you call it? Just like kind of
plot
that's there, just to. Yeah.
She just has to explain a lot of plot or something. Yeah.
All right, here's Captain Georgiou's duffel bag. You're going to open it? You're going to open it? You're going to open it? Well, I think you should open it. And she leaves.
One thing I don't like about that duffel bag is there was a bit near the end when Tilly is talking to her. And she, like, it's been dinging, like, every kind of 8 seconds or so up to that point. And then she's talking, and it doesn't ding for, like, a whole minute. And then as soon as she leaves, it goes, ding. That's just a little editing thing that annoyed me.
But they couldn't do that for the Tribble. The Tribble's constantly talking while Lorca's talking about how we have to win this war.
Yeah, and now that they've revealed that he's collecting things that help him win the war, how does that Tribble help? I mean, obviously, you know what I think they're going to do? They're going to have him use the Tribble against the Klingons, and it's going to be like, that's why they don't like Klingons. Or that's why the Klingons don't like Tribbles, is what I mean. But
he's obviously part of that great story, the invasion of the Klingons, eating all of the Klingon grain, and then the Klingons going and killing all of them.
Yeah, because, like all great Star Trek references in older episodes, these things need to be fleshed out. These need to be explained. There's a whole story there that needs to be explained.
and the untold stories as well, David. You're forgetting those.
Oh yeah, like the great father of Noonien Sung. That's one of the things I always want to know about, and Enterprise
how,
let me know about that.
Did he wear leather jackets on his raids? Now we know.
And was he involved in some sort of technology about I fucking hate that. I really hate that. I'm going to talk about that for a second.
Go on.
I really hate that Noonien Sung's great grandfather or whatever, he has to be involved in genetics like heavily, and so he's doing that. And then at the end of the episode, when it doesn't work and he's thinking of other stuff, he goes, "Oh, how about cybernetics?" And it's like this. We can't possibly imagine that his progeny is going to decide for itself how to live its life. It's going to have to follow along in his path.
Yeah, Star Trek families only ever do one thing.
It's a terrible.
My old uncle.
It's a terrible like why can't I think of the name? It's
lazy
prequel. It's a terrible. I was trying to think of the word prequel. I couldn't think of it. It's a terrible prequel. Not meme, but cliche. Sorry, the word meme comes right after prequel in my mind.
Yeah, there's not too many characters where it's just like they were the first ones to leave their planet or anything, is it? I mean, there always seem to be,
in a long line.
Oh, yes,
yeah. Well, I mean, except
anyway.
Worf was but that was thrust upon him by his parents dying. Anyway, you got some notes, Scotty? Give me some notes.
I've got another note.
What?
I did say he just said get it done.
He did say get it done. I like that. It's like he really wanted to say it.
Is he going to get that as a thing or not?
I mean, he might say it a few times, but I don't think it's going to be his catchphrase. Because they told him he couldn't have a catchphrase.
Also, I mean, I hate Stamets a little less than I thought I would in this episode. He was a bit on the nose in his first appearance, but good old Stamets.
They gave him kind of a little bit of a comedy thing when Lorca's talking to the Admiral, and he says, "Yes, we're ready. We can get it done." And then it like cuts to him going, "No, we're not ready. We can't get it done."
I think you'll be doing some of the I think you'll be doing some of the McCoy shit where they argue with the captain, which they kind of need, I reckon.
It was the second funniest scene in the episode after Laundry dying to the to the tardigrade.
I mean, what an idiot!
It's just the stupidest thing. I'm going to tell the computer to like.
Oh yeah, and how come the sedatives didn't do anything?
Because why would they know if the sedatives are going to do something?
Because they've got a tardigrade cage. Captain Lorca knows what to do with it. Did she not know how much Valium to give the fucking thing, or what was the deal? I mean,
well, the computer said the sedation is complete, and then she opened the door. But I don't know. I guess they've got a very specialized tardigrade cage. I guess they should have the sedative that works tied up to it.
That's the plot. That's the plot twist. The ship's computer didn't like Laundry, and it killed her. Because it didn't sedate the tardigrade enough.
Or this has all been orchestrated.
We have to keep doing that one. We're gonna drive that one home. Orchestrated.
I wish she got some sort of character development, because she was very one-dimensional, and it's like at this point now we know that she was just meant to die 3 episodes in. It's like you could have just made her at least a tiny bit likable, so we felt bad. Like she died, and then. Nobody cares.
They could have come up with some way to make her death make a bit more sense, because all of these characters seem to be kind of dumb with the decision making. I mean, how did she ever get the job? She's like constantly just throwing open cage doors and shooting at things she doesn't understand. I mean,
that's the thing. In the second episode, I said when people do dumb stuff, it's either because there's something going on behind the scenes, like Lorca is, orchestrating the what's happening, or it's just bad writing. I think this was just bad writing.
I did clip my favorite Klingon subtitle. You want to hear it?
Oh yeah, go on.
I'll do it in the voice too. You had no such outrage when we ate its captain.
Yeah, I can just imagine her getting picked apart by the Klingons.
I'm just listening to the Cook Serve Delicious soundtrack and just thinking of them like going to town on Michelle Yeoh's skull. You ate her? What the hell?
Well, I
thought
mean,
they
they've been
were
on that
gonna
ship
be
for
like-
6 months. They've just been floating around,
Yeah. No, you know
gotta
how,
eat
like,
everything you can.
On the front of a sailing ship, you have like a mermaid sculpture. I thought maybe they would have like strapped her to the front of the Klingon warbird, like on the front of a truck or something, And another thing, David, about these Klingons being in space for 6 months.
Yes.
I've got a note here. This cuck has been floating in space for 6 months. That's sad. It is. I mean, what they really been doing? We cannot get the warp drive working.
Well, he
Let's
didn't...
eat another.
Yeah, let's eat humans and just wait around for 6 months while the war's going on. But, we can't use the warp core from the Shenzhou, because...
Yeah.
Actually, weren't there other ships there that they could have used?
Isn't this kind of like we should buy American? We can't use stuff from the Shenzhou because, let's face it, Chinese tech, it's undermining our economy.
No, wait a minute. What they said was there's no more birds of prey to get our warp drive, or our warp cores from or some shit.
Yeah.
So couldn't they use them and then just leave? Like that's
Well, I guess
that's the line that they said. It was like there's no more birds of prey to scavenge or something.
Well, I guess they've boosted all of the engines and radiators and stuff from all of the ships that are in the wreckage, and they've gotten everything they can, but none of them had a working T-14.
I'm looking for a T-14 hyperdrive generator.
I got the hydrogen bladder and the repulse booster.
That's a great game.
That wasn't me. That was actually the market outside. That was Barcelona.
Oh, I thought you were I thought you were playing an audio file from the game. But...
Yeah. Anyway.
There was something else I wanted to talk about, but it was no, I can't remember.
I've got one more note that I haven't addressed in some. Well, I've got two notes.
Yep,
Three
sure,
notes, actually.
Go.
Okay, well, I'll start with this one because this one made me mad. Let me see if I can remember the names they mentioned. I don't remember the first name. Zefram Cochrane was in there. And then Elon Musk. I mean, did you know me well enough to know that line would have made me very, very upset.
I know that would make you upset, and I thought it was just amusing. It was
the Wright
brothers. Zefram Cochrane and Elon. No, I think Elon Musk was second. Anyway, Why are you mad about it, Scotty? What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I respect Elon Musk as much as we hate his face, but let's be real. He invented some cool batteries. Invented even. I mean, who knows? He probably just he bought the idea from some lab and knew it was going to be a big smash success. And he sells cars. Look, can we just clear this up?
Well, no,
Guys
I
like
don't
Steve
think.
Jobs
I don't.
Steve Jobs and Elon Musk are not on level of the Wright brothers. I'm sorry.
He didn't say Steve
And
Jobs. That would make me mad. If he's
No, but
the Wright brothers,
like,
Steve Jobs, Zefram Cochrane, all the greats.
In other shows, Steve Jobs is sort of quoted like that. He's mentioned among the greats as though he invented the phone or something.
Yeah, which he didn't. But I don't think they're saying that he now deserves that acclaim. I think they're just saying in the future we're going to go to Mars and it's going to be off the backs of SpaceX. He's going to be an historical figure. I don't think they're saying he's worth it now.
They're going to say that even though Miranda Kerr left him, it's going to work out for Elon. Is that what you're saying? Wait, did she leave him?
When did that happen? What? Well, when did they go out? I don't.
I think it was Miranda Kerr. I think he bought her like a really expensive present, like a yacht or something. I can't remember.
And then she left on the yacht. See ya. Got my Tesla-powered
yacht. One of those things in Star Trek where they try and take the near future and make something like there's an episode of original series where they go back in time and they hang out with this fighter pilot for a while. And what they don't know is that in the 90s, his son will be the first man to fly to Saturn or something.
Yeah,
so I know it's supposed to be like a near future extrapolation, but Elon Musk, there's got to be someone else. I don't know.
I thought it was amusing.
It was funny. I wasn't that mad about it, but
okay. What's your other note?
Oh, let's have a look here. I liked the battle simulation. I kind of liked watching. It was the closest thing that the show has had yet to a captain that I could actually watch captaining.
I mean, yeah,
barking the orders.
I like him just as an actor, as like a captain. Like he's very good at being a Starfleet captain kind of thing. I just don't like the evil side, and it might not even be that evil at this point because we already know. Like we know what they're doing with the Tetragrade, and
Yeah.
so it's not so bad, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he's not evil. He just wants to win the war. I mean, let's face it. If you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. Is that a quote in the show? Because it's one of my favorites.
I don't think they said that.
Well, that's what this Star Trek Discovery. The subtitle is. Yeah, the thing about omelets.
If you want to make omelets, you got to break a few eggs. Do you think they're ever going to show his little bowl of Chinese fortune cookies ever again?
Honestly, I hope
because he made a big point of him being in his family, like the business being in his family and stuff. I don't remember seeing him in the next episode, and maybe they're never going to use him again.
When Captain Lorca gets shot in the finale, he's gonna be like, burn him, avenge my death, and his hand will open up and there'll be a fortune cookie in there.
But it's all crumbled up.
And there's a page in there, like, you know, and the little ticket comes out and it says, whoa! The little paper comes out and it says, follow your dreams or something, and Bo Burnham takes it, and it's like, that's, you know.
Yeah. What do you think about the design of the ship? Because now we know why.
Yeah,
it's got like the
charges up.
Yeah,
it works with the midichlorians to fire up the Discovery drive, and it's interesting. I kind of I thought about it rotating, but not as a part of the engine. I thought just like in 2001, you used to have rotating space stations. I thought that's maybe that they were riffing on, but no, it turned out it's actually part of the.
I think the design is cool. I think the midichlorians. I think the design is cool, but I don't like it from a story perspective because they designed the whole ship to work around the spore drive, and then, like, when they built the ship, were they designing it to have the spinning hull, or did they have to retrofit that in, or I don't know. From like from an in-universe kind of perspective, it kind of makes me think a little too hard about it.
The tail is wagging the dog a bit as far as ship design goes. I mean, did they give it like a normal warp drive and then put that on the front, or
because it feels like that whole ship is designed to work with that warp drive, but they were just like testing it, like doing little jumps, and it was just this guy's experiment. So like, did they design 2 ships? Did they make 2 ships to work with this warp drive? And I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like they say in Contact, that creepy old millionaire builds the thing to send Jodie Foster into space. And when they find out he built a second one, he's like, why build 1 when you can build 2 for twice the price? So maybe it was... I love that movie. Contact is amazing.
I haven't watched that in ages.
Have you seen Contact?
I've seen it because it was one of the first movies you got on DVD.
Yeah. Well, now that we have this newfound love for Matthew Mahogany, I think we should
is he in
give
there?
it another chance. He's Jodie Foster is the scientist and the inquisitive mind that wants to find out more because she didn't believe in God. Matthew Mahogany is the believer, and their 2 worlds collide.
So he's like he's like the male lead.
Kind of, yeah, for most of them.
Okay, well,
but there's also.
That's all right. I mean, he doesn't make every film great, so I'm not gonna, what.
No, yeah, but you want to hear? You ain't seen nothing yet, David. Tom Skerritt is also in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Matthew Mahogany doesn't make every movie great because I've seen Ghosts of Girlfriend Past, and that wasn't a great film.
Is that the one with Emma Stone in it?
No.
So, which one's Emma?
I don't think
Emma Stone is like the hot young Ghost of Girlfriend's Past is like walking him through all of his, isn't it?
I don't think so.
You showed me the trailer. Oh, I can't remember now.
Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past. All I know is a terrible film. No, it's not. It's not Emma Stone. It's Jennifer Garner. Oh no, Emma Stone is there.
Oh,
okay,
I love both of them, to be honest.
I don't like Jennifer Garner. She looks like a horse and a donkey, also at the same time.
No, she's a lovely woman. Anyway, I've got one more note about the subtitles because I had to watch it. I think I had the choice of watching it in Spanish with English subtitles or watching it in English with Spanish subtitles.
Okay.
And the Klingons are talking about the matriarchs at one point, and I misread it as Mariachi. So that's just.
I think that's just the Spanish. I think it's just because it was in Spanish. Were you watching it on Netflix?
No. I couldn't remember the name of the site that Ruby uses to watch TV shows without torrenting them. I think it was Putlocker or something. I couldn't find it.
Putlocker.
So my So the person I'm staying with did some googling, and she found a site that works. So
Fair enough.
so she bailed me out there.
Yeah, well, that works. So anyway, the Star Trek episode was fine, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to talk about of it, really.
It just feels like it's kind of in the cracks of the Star Trek sofa for me. There's good stuff that I find interesting, and things with possibilities. But at the same time, it's a little weird. I'm just not used to it yet.
And there's some dumb stuff.
I mean, the spore drive. I mean, it works as a Star Trek concept, I guess. It's interesting, but and it could lead them to, it's a way for them to go really see new worlds, because they can go everywhere as opposed to just
But I mean, are they going to do that?
Exactly. Well, they might break that promise and just give me more Bo Burnham and a ridiculous hairdo. I mean, I could go either way. Also, I got one more note. The very first thing I wrote was computer cancel mirror.
Yeah, it's. I think having
I felt like they were going to do.
Yeah. Go on.
I thought they were going to do something like that, and then they did it. They did it. They delivered in the first minute. So.
In terms of like fitting into the canon, I've completely ignored any sort of, because obviously they don't care, so I don't care either.
No, I was there week one. Why waste your time?
Because there's things like just the visuals, and it's like, well, I don't care too much about that.
Yeah.
Technology.
Whatever.
Just fucking do whatever you want.
Yeah, no. Did I ever show you that video where the guy like rotoscoped out the original series crew and put them on an updated bridge?
No.
Well, that's a thing you can look up. It's actually pretty good. I mean, I don't know. It comes to my mind every time I think of how much they really need to modernize things.
I tried to look it up and it just came up with a bunch of bridge crew stuff.
Oh, great! Bridge crew buried everything. So how's your internet? Is it still working pretty fast, or is there too much NSA shit in the back end? Is that from somewhere, or is that...
No, sorry. Before we started recording, I made a comment about Facebook being slow because of the NSA. No, I was just making
shit in the back end.
NSA shit in the back end.
I don't know why I find that so funny, but I do. So good call, Devin.
Thanks for bringing it up. I just want to mention somebody on...
I hate my uncle.
Somebody in our Buried in 12 group on Facebook has shared some of the I don't know if it's both episodes, or it's the first or second one. Rob Barnetta, thank you very much for sharing our podcast on the Facebook, like some sort of Star Trek Facebook group. I don't know if it's like the biggest one or a big one, but well, obviously it's not the official one. But yeah.
No, I really wanted to thank him too, because I understand it's not always because I do sometimes snoop around to see where the channel's being mentioned and stuff, and I do see occasionally people try and share what we do, and I understand it's a big ask because we're an acquired taste, and
we always appreciate people sharing our shit, because I mean, we're very bad at self-promotion. Like I posted a link to the second podcast on like the Star Trek subreddit, and it got 0 upvotes, and I'm like, well, that makes sense, because nobody wants to. And I see other people. I see other people post podcasts and stuff all the time, and they never get votes. So it's No, it's a tough sell, because everybody has a podcast now. So I never expect that to work, but you just throw it out there.
Yeah. All the same, as I say, it's not always easy. It's a bit vulnerable sometimes, sharing stuff that you do. So thanks very much for doing that favor. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah. So the butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's cry. That's the episode.
That gets a 7 from me, as far as
7. Jesus.
I'm rating it against other episodes of Discovery. Remember how
I
6 before? Yeah, I'm not rating it against other Star Trek.
How did the first one not get 10 out of 10 then? Shit, hangs up.
The first episode is always rated against what you wanted to see, because there's no precedent.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But what I was going to say was, David is writing a very sophisticated algorithm that actually works in Excel, that's going to average out the ratings of all the episodes so that they make sense in relation to each other.
Yeah, and then we'll finally be able to figure out which episode of Star Trek is the greatest of all time.
Exactly. We'll be able to answer those long loop questions.
I don't want to ruin the rest of the podcast, but
Yeah.
what would you say? Sorry, what would you say your favorite episode of Star Trek is?
Favorite episode?
Like, or one of your favorites, the one that stands out.
Probably something from the second season, maybe the original series, or oh no, there's some fucking good ones in the first season too, though as well. Shit. That is really tough. I love there was only a couple of them, but I love the Vulcan episodes in the original series. Those were just great. They always had the good music. Dun 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 dun.
Do you mean like
It's a weird thing to
time,
fixate
or...
on, but yeah, maybe. I mean, Journey
it's
to
a
Babel's
classic.
another good one because it has all that great Spock stuff. But what makes me laugh is
Tolerance,
that years ago I had this friend. We call her the captain on the channel, and
Yes.
she didn't know much. I watched Voyager with her, right? Or rather, we talk about it.
You don't know much about Voyager, to be honest.
No, there was a time where we were both sort of watching episodes and talking about them, and she didn't really know much about original series, so I sat her down on the couch to watch the Journey to Babel, because I thought, if I'm going to show somebody some Star Trek, this is the one. She fell asleep.
I had a similar experience. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. I was just going to say, and she thinks Nemesis is better than the motion picture, so, you know, I mean,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I had a similar
not-
experience last week, because one of my friends wanted to see Star Trek, and she was like, "I've never watched Star Trek before. You should come over and you can show me like an episode of Star Trek." And then when I got there, she said, "I don't really like episodic shows. Like I like a big long story arc." I was like, "Well." So then we watched the new episodes.
Yeah.
And she enjoyed them. And then I was like, okay, I got to put one of the good episodes of the like an older series on, just to see if you like it. And I have to say, Data's Day is like a really good introduction to TNG, because it focuses on Data, who is a very unique character, and then he goes around and explains every character. Like, I didn't realize how in depth he goes into each member of the crew, but he just goes around and talks about each member of the crew. I was like, this is great.
I honestly didn't remember it like that. I thought it was just tap dancing lessons.
Yeah, that's most of it, but
Oh.
no, but he goes around.
It's
He's
a
like,
look at the
Geordie
crew
is my best
through
friend.
the lens of tap.
He goes.
Sorry.
He says, Geordie's my best
Sorry.
friend. He jokes around a lot, which I guess he does. That's what he says. And then he says, Riker's a ladies' man, and Worf is like me. He doesn't like everyone. He's an outsider.
It's a look at the.
But she also fell
crew
asleep, so.
through the eyes of an idiot. Oh, really?
Yeah, but it is a very good introduction to TNG, and she liked it. It was just late, so
Yeah.
because
Well,
I was sitting there,
I mean-
I was thinking for ages about it. I was like, what episode of TNG should I show somebody? And I think that's the quintessential one, unless you want to show them Encounter at Farpoint. so Data Stay all the way. I guess.
Mm. It's pretty much never start with the pilot.
Unless you're hijacking your plane. So anyway, let's talk about The Last Jedi, because the Last Jedi trailer came out yesterday.
Honestly, trailers are hard. I need to watch them 10 times to get it. Cause I don't remember what Mark Hamill says. Maybe you can help me out with some of his dialogue. Because there's that great shot where all the screenshots are coming from at the moment, where he's looking at the camera. He's like, "It's me. I'm Luke Skywalker, and I'm back." Well, I don't remember what he says.
At that point, he says, "I've seen this kind of raw power before, and I wasn't afraid of it enough. But this time I'm afraid." I'm quoting it incorrectly.
Is he talking about Rey or Kylo Ren?
That's the thing about this trailer. I think everything is to mislead, because the director and Mark Hamill have both come out and said we don't want anyone to watch trailers or anything, because it's going to give away too much. And at the same time, this trailer gives away so much if you just take it at face value. Like, it's got Kylo, aiming torpedoes at fucking Leia. It's one of those. That's one of those things that doesn't get revealed in like the first trailer, or any trailer.
No.
So obviously, it's meant to be misleading.
Or he's going to try and kill his mum, and then Chewbacca flies this Falcon into the way and catches the torpedo or something. Or
I just think everything in that trailer is misleading. Like, if you think Luke is talking about Rey, no, he's actually talking. Well, if you think Luke's talking about Kylo, no, he's actually talking about Rey. If you think that bit at the end where Kylo puts his hand out for to Rey, obviously he's not.
Yeah, possibly. Or it could just be one of those trailers that tells you everything.
It could be.
No, I don't know.
It's a double blind. It's making you think it's misleading, but actually everything's going to happen like that.
Kylo Ren really is like that kid that can't stop eating donuts. He's like, oh, I've killed my father. What do I do next?
Eat donuts?
I'm going to kill my mom. No, he killed my mother too. He has that greedy look in his face. He's like, I'm gonna have another fix.
I really like him as an actor. I think he's a good actor. I think he's doing a great job with Kylo Ren.
When we reviewed Force Awakens, I said it was like getting somebody to do the whiny Anakin thing, but by a good actor. Because I mean,
he's just very. I don't know whether it's just like modern filmmaking, like kind of thing, but he's very physically angry. Like it, obviously, because he's always beating shit up. But like in the shot where he's like smashing his helmet against the side of the elevator, it's like, I'm really, I don't know. I'm just.
Well, that's the thing I like. All these people were like, "What, Adam Driver? What a pussy!" I wouldn't be scared of him. And the thing is, in real life, he's an actual guy that could crush your ass. Like he was in the army and stuff. So.
Yes, he's a scary man.
So all these people that said they weren't scared of Kylo Ren, you're all fucking.
Well, just because he's not James Earl Jones. I mean, God, that's a.
Yeah.
It's a pretty high mark to get to.
I don't like admitting that some men could beat the hell out of you. Like James Blunt was like a tank officer or something, so he could
tank
probably...
officer. No, they just pull levers. He didn't do anything.
No, but he has to learn some self-defense for when the Nazis like pull the tank up and pull the crew out.
The Nazis? How old is he? They
might be coming back.
James Blunt. I don't think they trained him against the Nazis. I don't think he's that old.
Is the subtitle for this episode of the podcast. Nazis, they might be coming back.
You heard it here first. Watch out. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Okay. Why did the Porg get relegated to dashboard ornament? Other than the fact they're trying to sell Porgs.
I haven't heard anything about this Porg thing.
Okay.
From what I understand, it's like a native creature to Luke's tiny island, which doesn't really make much sense because where are they getting their food? But
yeah.
Where's Luke getting his food? Is he eating the Porgs?
I've seen this kind of power before, and he's chewing in that. You can't actually see it very easily, but he has food in the corner of his mouth, and he's kind of just doing that little half chew. When you've got a little bit left.
Yeah. Pulling the meat off the
pork
end of the Apparently, there's an evil BB-8 in this film. It's like an Imperial BB unit.
They were calling it BB-8 on the set, but it has a different name, like BB-9 or something.
That's BB-9. What?
No, David, it's BB gun.
I don't get why. They should give them more numbers. I don't know. It's like BB. Is that just his nickname, BB-8? Because are there only 8 BB units?
There was 8 when he rolled off the production line as BB-8.
Okay, so is there BB 150 somewhere? Or?
Yeah, well, no, that's when they start adding a second letter. Like, because think about it, BB, in the number of combinations, BB-8, 1, BB-8, B, BB-8. Think of the number of, I
thought you were going to say his progenitor was BA-8 or something. Anyway.
Well, there are whole Star Wars Wikipedia articles relating to the history of the droids and what their functions were.
There's a Wikipedia article about chairs, and it's got like 45 references to chairs or something.
Jesus.
Just to prove to you that chairs exist.
They're in a hiding to nothing.
Anyway, I'm really excited.
Imagine being the person that wrote that article. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't want to.
What are you excited about?
The movie. I think it looks great.
Oh, the movie. Yeah, no, look, I mean, has there been negative reactions? Because I heard, mostly relating to the Porg, people were saying, this is stupid, this is going to be worse than Jar Jar.
Yeah, I'm sure people are going to say that. I think people will probably say, oh, look, it's going to be an Empire Strikes Back clone, like The Force Awakens was a New Hope clone, because they've got, like, the walkers and the speeders scene.
Yeah.
And they got, like, the big door closing in the base, and,
David, this time it's a new kind of walker.
Is it walking on his knuckles? Like it's it looks like it's a big, like it's walking on his knuckles as it goes. It's funny.
No, I honestly want people to just shut the fuck up when it comes to the new trilogy, because their complaints like they're just, they don't hold water a lot of the time.
Like I thought,
because it is
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Star Killer Base is stupid, but like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Maybe I'm just a fanboy, but I just enjoy the trilogy.
Look, they tweaked enough things that it was different.
I like Force Awakens. I like all the characters. I want to see them.
We got to see what would have happened if, you know, Luke met his father and then stabbed him instead of just jumping off the, like, you know, it's like it's the other side of the coin. They did change some things, maybe not enough for you guys. You want an all new experience, but then you suck dick when you see Rogue One, which is just a pre-established movie using all retro nostalgia imagery, and you're like, this is way better. So don't you know, you can't tell me you want something new. You don't.
I can't remember why I didn't like Rogue One exactly, because I haven't watched it since
Diego
we watched
Luna.
it. Yeah, okay. Probably that.
Yeah, your father worked for the Empire.
At the moment, I'm like, maybe it wasn't that bad, but I haven't watched it since then. And if I try to watch it, it'll probably...
I keep watching bits of it and I change my mind. But anyway.
Yeah. Do you think...
Oh, what was the try... Oh, yeah.
Wait, you're going to let me ask my question?
Yeah, you ask your question.
Do you think they're going to do a little swapperoo?
You go first.
Where Kylo is good, well, not good, but like on the good side by the end of the movie, and like Rey's like captured by Snoke or some shit, or what do you think they're doing with the film?
I reckon Rey, I mean,
I don't think they'll make it evil, because I feel like Disney has too much
not evil, but I
riding
think she's
on...
found out that Luke Skywalker not only...
Hello? Yeah?
Did I lose you?
I think you lost me.
Oh, edit point.
Go on.
Sorry. Okay. I was just going to say, I think because she's found out that Luke Skywalker's not all he's picked up to be, she's uncertain. She's not evil, but she's just looking for answers, and she's not getting them from this fucking weirdo who lives out in the cave. So maybe Kylo's where it's at. Because she's found out something about him that she didn't know before. I don't know, things like that.
I definitely think he'll have some sort of redemption arc. Like, not just right at the end where he throws the Emperor in the pit or something, but like by the end of this film, he'll be at least
having
a
sex
little
with
bit likable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the only really original way to do Star Wars. Because he can't just be evil for the entire thing. Because
yeah, and Star Wars has never actually had like a happy ending with the family actually saving someone.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know,
and whatever happens with Rey near the end of the film, I reckon she'll either be captured or lost. She'll be like Han Solo at the end of Empire Strikes Back. Basically.
I think she'll be wearing latex, really tight black latex or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe Snoke's got a whole lot of that, and he'll dress her up like that, or something.
He'll dress her up.
Well, I don't know. We don't know much about him.
This is your new outfit. Yeah, I like that.
All right. Anyway, I wanted to make this podcast slightly. Well, go on.
Yeah. I was before I ask a quick question about the Star Trek episode, I just want to. The Emperor picked Darth Vader's outfit, right? Like, was there a team of designers? Was he the Steve Jobs? He just sort of assigned the best man to the team.
Well, according to the whole extended universe thing in that Red Letter Media video and stuff, there was a whole team working on it for. No, I don't know. I guess he probably just drew up a design and just told the robots to make it. Get the voodoo hide helmet and.
I want it to be big.
Hello?
I wanted to be.
You're lagging out.
Yep.
Hang on.
I'm here.
You're back.
David. Okay, we better wrap this up then, because
Oh shit.
the internet does. I was just going to say, what was the trailer for next week for Star Trek?
I didn't see it because I watched it on Netflix. So,
Nope.
so who knows? I'm going in blind.
Oh, okay.
What? Did you see it?
Okay, well I can't actually remember what it was.
Oh, thanks.
I saw it, but I honestly don't remember it, so I can't give you predictions for the fight. It was pretty good watching the Discovery come in and rescue everyone. I gotta say, that was pretty good. Look, they saved us, and there's only 12 people left.
And then the exploded birds of prey come showering down onto their colonies. Because Captain Lorca has to wait until
It's
they're
like the
right
Team
above the
America
colony before he
resolution,
blows them up. Yeah, exactly.
He's just showering them in debris.
The Eiffel Tower topples
Alright.
and yeah. Yay!
All right. Well, yeah. My internet's kind of crappy, so we'll
Yeah,
probably
you're starting to shit out. So
draw a line into this one.
all right, yeah. The butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's crown. I'm like losing interest by the end of the title. Yeah.
All right,
Send us
well,
emails at
Yeah.
at federationconversation.gmail at .google and and leave comments and give us likes and stuff and share it around if you want and whatever. Fucking just do whatever you want.
We'll see you guys next time, and yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, see you next time.
It's not that big a deal.
No, mate, it's fucking shit. I can't. Facebook takes
Okay.
10 minutes to load everything.
Really?
Yes.
Just Facebook? Fuck.
Yeah, just Facebook. That's because they got all that NSA shit, in the back end. Dragging me down.
Can you work that into just a random comment?
No,
It's
I
all
can't.
that- It's all that NSA shit in the back end.
No, I can't do that because that makes no sense.